Thank you so much for having us. Me and my colleague Aamir have decided to run our session for 45 minutes in a very relaxed fashion. So we're going to do it in a way of a conversation and in a way that also engages us, because we believe our colleagues this morning have shed a lot of light of what the fourth industrial revolution is, this emerging future world of digitization and its implication in our industry. So we would like to do this in a very interactive, engaging, and getting us to think and share our own stories.
But first, thank you for inviting us on stage and such a warm welcome. It's really such a pleasure to be sitting with such great company and talking about things that really matter to who we are. As Henley Business School, as you can see on the screens up above, we pride ourselves on being a business school that builds the people who build the businesses that build Africa. It really is our passion to come here and talk about aspects such as how do we as professionals adjust to Industry 4.0? What does it mean for us? How do we do that? And at Henley, we look at ourselves as a design agency for learning, because we don't have all of the answers, but we bring in really clever people like you and Dr. Puleng, and we collectively come up with the answers that we need to figure out.
And would like to invite you, I understand you have notepads in front of you. If you could just, every person in the room, please, those of you who were catching up with some email on laptop, please put it aside and write for 2 minutes 5 things that you usually say when you introduce yourself. Write it on your notepad. So, Aamir, what would you say when you introduce yourself in a corporate setting?
So typically I would introduce myself as the MC said, handsome, but also head of business development for Henley Business School Africa, qualified with my master's in strategy as well as an MBA, passionate about learning and development, and love sports, as an example. Puleng, how would you introduce yourself?
Okay, head of the Center of Innovation and Creativity and Entrepreneurship at Henley Business School. Very interested in learning. I have studied and researched in the area of design thinking and innovation and so on and so forth. So that's kind of like the stuff I would say. Are you done with your list of 5? You have to do it. Everybody has to come up with a bullet point with 5 things that you usually say when you introduce yourself. There shall be a prize. So please, everybody has to engage with this. Like we said, this is going to be an engaging session. So 30 more seconds.
Come on, guys. 5 things about you
that you usually say when you introduce yourself. Should be the easiest part of this session. Right, I'm sure everyone is ready with their list of 5. Okay, so I would like to now invite you to stand up. So one of the opportunities that we miss in conferences like this is engaging with each other and harnessing from the intelligence in the room. So please stand up, everybody.
Let's get on our feet.
Get on your feet. And then find somebody, because you're probably sitting next to somebody who you come from the next organization with. Yeah? Look at the other neighbor who doesn't come from the same organization that you don't know very well. Find them and look at each other in the face as our pair on the screen is looking at each other. We'll demonstrate it. Look at each other in the face like this. Introduce yourself. Look at each other in the face. Okay. All right. Great.
Okay.
Okay.
Great.
By now you have probably said all the 5 things without hearing what the next instruction is.
Wait.
Please pay attention. Please pay attention. Attention, 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 please.
Okay,
Attention.
so at this stage, we should all be standing and looking at someone that we don't know, but just looking at them. Very
Just
quietly.
looking at them without the conversation.
Without talking.
Without talking.
Okay.
Now,
Okay, so
you need to find.
this is the instruction. This is what you need to do. So
Listen
everybody,
to
please.
instruction. You have just 1 minute to find your rhythm with your partner. Yeah?
Okay.
Because you're going to share some stuff. So your quick rhythm, and I'm going to demonstrate it with Aamir. So I'm going to say 1, you say 2, I say 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, the fastest possible way.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
1,
2,
3,
1,
2,
2,
1,
3.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2,
Okay.
3, 1,
2,
3,
1,
2,
3,
1,
2,
3,
1.
2.
She's scared me.
Try it with your
She
partner.
puts so much pressure.
Try it with your partner.
Okay, everybody try
Try it
this.
with your partner. All right. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Do you have a rhythm?
Did you
It
find
gets
your
more
rhythm?
complicated, so you better listen.
Okay, next
This
step.
time, you're going to have to replace 1 with a clap. So it's going to be
2,
3, 2,
3, 2,
3, 2.
3.
Oh!
Yes,
Try it out
I
with your partner.
won! I won!
Try it with your partner. All right, we have to move on.
Okay, level 3.
We have to move on. We have to move on and take that bond to another level.
Level 3.
Next level, you agree with a partner on a word that represents the energy that you bring into this session. So what's our word? Curiosity?
Curiosity
So
sounds
you
great.
replace 2 with that word.
Curiosity.
3. Curiosity.
3. Curiosity.
You can't get it wrong. Try it out with your partner. What's your word?
Right? Yeah. It's a good
Okay.
energy.
All right. We don't have all the time. This is the last time
Okay, the
that
last,
you're gonna do this.
the last challenge, the final
Yeah.
level.
The final level of your bond. Now
Okay.
you replace 3 with a bodily expression of that word. Yeah? So it's curiosity. You have to say curiosity.
Curiosity.
Curiosity. Yeah? Try it with your partner.
Okay, go for it. Come on, guys, you can do it. Everybody needs to get engaged.
Perfect! Wait, before you sit down, one
Okay.
last thing with your partner. We would like you to introduce yourself to your partner. You have 1 minute each without using any of the things on your notepad. Introduce yourself to your partner without using any of the things on your notepad.
So whatever
So use
you wrote down.
everything else about you except from the things on your notepad. The list of 5, don't say anything on your list of 5.
Let me ask Sabelo.
Yeah.
Bello, man, can you do me a favor and just take some pictures on this? Thank you.
1 minute left, so switch if you haven't switched yet.
Bello.
Awesome!
Bello.
Great! Great, 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 great.
Great.
Awesome! Please remain
Everyone.
standing for just one last thing.
Stay standing.
One last thing.
The last one.
Please remain standing. Those who are
Please.
seated, would you please stand up again? Please
Please.
stand up. Now, we would like to invite you into a quick thinking exercise. When you hear this morning, we got even, more knowledge about the fourth industrial revolution, robotics, artificial intelligence, machine learning, all of this impacts on our organization and on our society. What feeling do you get in your stomach?
Do you
Is
get
it
scared?
or excited about the opportunities?
Or
Or
curious?
curious? Or what does that, can you embody that feeling and then do an expression? We're going to take a picture of that before we
An
share and sit
expression,
down.
And the
So you have to
expression,
do an expression with your partner. Do an expression. Is it excited?
and then
Is it
freeze.
scared? Is it, I'm just curious of this, what this world is coming to? And then freeze, because
And
we're going to take a
freeze.
picture.
How do you do that?
Freeze. Let's see. Make your expression and freeze for the photo. Make an expression. Make an expression again for the last time.
Yeah.
So this is how South Africa HR directors are. Yeah, when we talk about the fourth industrial revolution. Awesome, brilliant, thank you.
Yes.
Please take your seat.
Give yourself a round of applause.
Thank you.
That was brilliant. Well
Thank
done,
you.
guys. That
Thank
was
you.
awesome.
Thank you so much. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Now, isn't it interesting, Aamir, how the responses are different? How many of you had excited? And how many of you had scared? Many of you are just nonchalant? We don't care, it doesn't matter. And how many of you are curious? Yeah, very different expressions. And so me and Aamir looked on the internet on different headlines. Do you want to take us through some of those headlines, Aamir?
So we were wondering what the perception out there would be as we asked you the question. Some of you are scared, some of you are curious, some of you are excited. So we wanted to see what is the world saying. And exactly the same thing came out. We found an array of different views. An article by CNBC says, your next interview could be by a robot. Imagine that. Imagine sitting and trying to persuade a robot to give me the job. He's not going to think I'm handsome. The Guardian published another article saying that Amazon just created 600 new positions that are technology related.
Very positive.
Which is optimistic and exciting. Another article by BBC says that the EU migrants, the low-skilled labor, are now going to be replaced by automated positions, and they would need to find new jobs. So again, fearful, a robot's going to be taking our jobs.
Yeah, especially those low-skilled jobs. Are they going to be taken over?
And an article by CNBC reads that the introduction of machine learning provides an opportunity for human ingenuity. And that in addition to all of the jobs that will be replaced, technology will introduce close to 58 million more jobs for humans.
Interesting. Very interesting. Contradicting views. And we have another slide with another 4 of those Automation threatens 800 million jobs, but technology could still save us, says a report. The other one is actually saying pictures speak louder than words. Started as humans, then we became digi-humans, and then digi took over, and then they're kicking humanities out of the window. That's other people's views about the fourth industrial revolution. It's real. And then this interesting one is two very opposing quotes. I found it on Instagram. One by Elon Musk. Artificial intelligence is a threat to humans in the long run. And then in the same quote, we hear something from Mark Zuckerberg, the founder of Facebook, saying artificial intelligence will boost the progress of humans in the long run. Interesting, very opposing views. Yeah? And we are constantly sitting with these opposing thoughts when we discuss the fourth industrial revolution.
And what we've seen with that is that there is no clear case. There's no complete answer. Some people are scared, some people are optimistic. What we found is it's really what you make of it.
And what's interesting, as we introduced ourselves with Aamir, we didn't mention that we have a 10-year age difference between us. Who do you think is older? Please say Aamir. There's a 10-year difference between us. He's turning 29 this year. I'm turning 39. I've disclosed it. I've said it. Strength to the lady. And so Aamir belongs to this generation that doesn't understand some of the things that when I share with him about 20 years back when I got my degree in computer science and I finished at varsity and joined the workforce, only the guys in IT had computers. The rest of the organization didn't have computers.
Sure. She's really old.
For real. And then when I was going through my computer science degree, we were being told about the internet. We didn't have internet. I grew up in Lesotho and I went to the National University of Lesotho. We didn't have internet. We were being taught about the internet in the late 90s. And we were being told, you know, you'll write a letter and it will get to someone in the United States within a second.
Sure.
And we're like, what witchcraft is going to facilitate that? Yeah.
So then, Puleng, how did you connect with people back then?
Landlines were very useful. In fact, booths were very. Do you know what a booth is?
Well, I've never heard of this.
Yeah, a telephone booth were very, very useful to call home. And what's interesting was that in 1999, we had our first cellular operating company in the country, Vodacom. And then they took this interesting competition to the university that whoever will make the best screensaver for Vodacom will win a cell phone. So in our computer science class. And I worked so hard. And guess what? I got the first cell phone.
Wow. Well
Yay!
done,
I got a cell phone. I was the only one with a cell phone, and they gave me 50 Rand airtime.
50 Rand.
Yes, which was quite a lot.
Yeah.
In fact, there was something that went wrong with the algorithms and the scripts at the time because it was new technology, yeah? So my airtime was endless.
Oh.
It never finished. So
Wow.
I got everybody on campus like, come make calls to the United States, to Swaziland, to South Africa, wherever. Here's a cell phone. But as soon as I finished my degree and joined the company, I needed to have a contract. I was told I have a couple of thousands owing to Vodacom. It happened. It's a true story. It's a true story. So the previous speakers this morning have already talked about the different industrial revolutions. They've already talked about the time in our lives where there was no technology. Yeah? So if you remember what Aid McCormick calls the Biz 1.0, it's that time in our lives where we were living out of our creativity, we were living out of our being, and man was all about hunting, farming, and none of this technology that we see today. And then the Industrial Revolution came, where it was all about industrializing us. And then it even made us so process-based and systematic.
Yeah.
And automation-based, that we kind of have become machines, don't you think?
I completely agree. I think that it brought us from an area where the first revolution we had to think, we had to invent, we had to be creative. And then we moved into the second, and then stuff started becoming automated. And in the third, we didn't really have to engage our mind anymore. We had to press a button, and the machine would carry on along the line. We clicked enter when we had to do something. So yeah, I think we definitely became machines in that process.
And the fourth industrial revolution, we hosted as Henley Business School a masterclass for alumni in May this year in the UK. And the theme for that masterclass was championing humanity in the digital age. And this guy, Aid McCormick, said something that I found very intriguing, that the fourth industrial revolution gives us an opportunity to be human again.
Wow.
To champion humanity. It's taken away all of this process-based stuff, all of this systematic, mechanistic parts of our jobs, and it's causing us to connect with ourselves and be creative, be human, be real.
So,
it's interesting,
so
isn't
Dr.
it?
Puleng, in essence, what you're saying, or according to Aid McCormick, is that the fourth industrial revolution will allow us to kind of go back to the first industrial revolution.
In a way. That's why he actually even said digital is the return to our true nature, because that's where we were originally. Now, what's interesting about this is, at Henley Business School, the other time, we had, what are they called? These people who check how you sit in the office and your physiology and all of that. What are they called again? Economics. I don't think so. Economists. So the economist said, the economist, thank you. Economists said, our bodies, all of us were suffering from a headache or neck pain. 100% of staff at Henley Business School was suffering from either a headache or a back pain or some kind of a physical pain. And they said it's because our bodies were not made to sit the way we sit in front of computers. So we constantly have to wake up and recalibrate and allow our bodies to relax. And she gave us a whole set of exercises to do in order to balance this damage that sitting like that is causing for us. And that got me thinking about this emerging digital world, that maybe it's even going to take away this from us. Like, who invented it in the first place, that we get to work and we sit like this, and then it damages our back, it damages our physiology and our well-being? Who invented it in the first place? So can we allow technology to bring back vitality and life and allow us to go back to living out of the heart and standing up more, which is apparently what we should be doing, and walking around and doing physical stuff? Interesting, isn't it?
Fascinating. I always thought that, how do we use technology to allow us to do more? As you said, there's no rule book that said that we have to sit in an office. The previous speaker spoke about her daughter wanting to not go to the office. Why are we bound by such rules? And can technology break it?
Absolutely. Now let's watch this next view by this video and hear what they have to say about this emerging digital world. Please play.
Once upon a time, business as usual was often good enough. No more. Where we are going, good enough is dead. In a world where everything is connected, where everything is equally excellent, where performance is reaching perfection, there's only one space left to innovate in: you. Right now, you are a central point in the raging tornado of change fueled by digitization, mobilization, augmentation, disintermediation, automation. Well, the list goes on. Science fiction is becoming science fact. Think about self-driving cars or computers that can learn and think. The way we work will never be the same. The skills we need will be dramatically different. Winning or losing are now happening faster than ever before. So what's your response? How will you discover new opportunities in one of the most transformational times in human history? Are you driving change or are you being driven by it? Disruption has become the new normal. With change, it's always gradually, then suddenly, well, things really have stopped happening gradually. This change is exponential. Everything that used to be dumb and disconnected is now wired and intelligent. Cars, cities, ports, farms, even our bodies will be wired with sensors and will talk to each other. These game changers are also combinatorial. They amplify each other, creating a perfect storm of change. Quantum computing fuels big data. The Internet of Things fuels artificial intelligence and deep learning, which fuels robotics. However, anything that cannot be digitized or automated will become extremely valuable. Human-only traits such as creativity, imagination, intuition, emotion, and ethics will be even more important in the future, because machines are very good at simulating but not at being. Yes, robots and software will do some of our work, but this will allow us to focus on things that cannot be automated. To imagine change squared, you've got to start engaging more with what might be, not just with what is. Immerse yourself in the immediate future, 5 to 7 years out from today. We need to go beyond technology and data to reach human insights and wisdom. Technology represents the how of change, but humans represent the why. The future is about holistic business model. The opportunity is to be liquid, to learn just in time, not just in case, not single improvements, but complete transformations, not individual systems, but new ecosystems. Humanity is where true and lasting value is created. We will engage, relate, and buy things because of the experiences they provide, because of their transformative power. The future doesn't just happen, the future gets happened. The new way to work is to embrace technology, but not to become it. The future is in technology, yet the bigger future lies in transcending it. Let's live and lead from here.
Wow.
Quite an intriguing view there. And if we had time, we would, literally allow a couple of minutes of just taking it in, discussing it with your neighbor. But because we're so time pressed, we're just gonna, summarize our views of the video. So we have this interesting concept that our own Dean and Director, John Foster Pedley, taught us.
Yes.
And so when he made his first impact in my life 10 years back, I was doing an MBA, and he asked us, how many of you think you're creative? And out of 80 MBA students, how many do you think said, yes, I'm creative? All? Really? What's the other view? There's always an opposing view. Jerry says no one. Yeah? Very close, much closer to the answer. 5. The rest of us were like, we're at a business school. Creativity doesn't have, a place here. We're not in the music and in the arts. Very limited view of what creativity is. And then the question that grabbed me, that sent me home, was when he asked, how much of you is welcome at work? How much of you is welcome at work? So, Aamir, if this was you, this was 100% of you. Yeah? So think about Aamir as a yardstick. And tell me when to stop. So this is 0, and up there is 100. Tell me when to stop.
Really?
Thank you. Thank you for the honesty. Thank thank you for the honesty, because that's, I do lecturing and facilitation at Henley Business School, and every time, everybody tells me to stop right there.
And what our dean and director would often say is a salary would generally get around about that much. You can pay someone for their skill, competency to come and do the work, for some of their knowledge, but does that salary guarantee passion? Does it guarantee creativity? Does it guarantee energy?
Inspiration.
Initiative? Curiosity? No, more often than not it doesn't.
So how do we change that? Because it's real and it's true in corporate South Africa for sure. It is true. 25%, 20%, mine was 10% 10 years back when I was asked the same question. And that's the question that sent me home. Plus this graph. Look at the decline of our creativity when we grow up. From 98% when we were 5 years old to 2%. What's the average age of the room? How much creativity are you using? Yeah? And only to recover it later on in life. Scary statistics, isn't it?
Oh,
and it's
shocking.
not only creativity that declines when you grow up. Look at other things. Curiosity. Our ability to question stuff. Our ability to laugh.
Laughter.
Children laugh 113 times. And it says when we get to 44, we only laugh 11 times. A day, if you're lucky. Unless you're in our session. Yeah? But then the scary part about that graph, it's not scary until you see this World Economic Forum report. 2015, top 10 skills that you need to succeed.
Sure. In 2015, the most important skill was complex problem solving.
Yeah? And creativity is there as one of the top 10.
Creativity, oh, it actually
It's
made the
number
list.
10.
It's number 10.
Yeah?
Sure.
But then it moves up and becomes even more important as the top 3 skills you'll need in 2020. Why is that? That's a question just for you to ponder. And here's another interesting World Economic Forum report saying, these are the skills that are declining, and these are the skills that are growing. So all that manual work, all that mechanistic work, visual work, technology and so on, all of those are declining. But look at what's happening in the growing work. Analytical thinking, creative thinking, originality. It's all about the thinking.
Wow.
Isn't that scary?
What does that pose for us as HR practitioners, HR directors?
What does it mean for the future? So we said we're not here to give answers, but just to probe you with questions to continue your journey of curiosity in these 3 days that you're together. And worse off, there are also other studies on employee engagement. And this is one of the studies that was done by Stillcase on employee engagement. And it says our people are disengaged. Only 13% of the employee workforce, the workforce, is engaged and highly satisfied and motivated.
Sure.
And there's 11% that is completely disengaged and not satisfied.
Like, I mean, if you think about that in literal terms, it's actually scary. Because that means that 70% of our employees show up to work every single day, completely disengaged. How do we expect them to come up with ideas that are going to solve for future problems if we're not engaging them? If they don't feel like they want to be there? If they're there just to put that food on the table?
Yeah. Shocking, isn't it? And I wanted Aamir to share more about his own findings about jobs. It says, this quote says 60% of the best jobs in the next 10 years haven't been invented yet. So in the near future, we're going to hear about jobs that have never existed. And then Aamir did a research on jobs that used to be there that are no longer there, and new jobs that are emerging. And those jobs that have always been there and will remain there, can you share some of your insights?
Sure, I would love to. So, as Puleng said, 60% of jobs that are going to be created haven't even been invented yet in the next 10 years. But the bright side is that there is still some jobs that are going to exist and will survive. And some of those jobs are, and I'm going to leave it to you guys to tell me which of those they are. So, number 1, doctor, yes,
Yeah.
you got it right there. Number 2, the grumpy old teacher. She's still going to be there.
Always be there.
Robot's not going to replace her yet. Scientists, yes, we continuously need to investigate and invent ourselves through science and find new solutions. What do you guys think that is?
What do you think that is? That person looking out for you on the
Exactly.
31st of October.
I heard it. I heard SARS somewhere.
Yeah?
They will
That
continue to
person
exist.
threatening you with 31st of October.
No matter how inadequate their IT e-filing systems are, they will be there and they will collect. As businesses prosper, tax will remain. Not the one that you're talking about, but religious leaders across all faiths. Robots will never replace a priest. That will remain. And obviously the police, to make sure that we're all doing what we're supposed to.
Yeah.
But that shows that some jobs won't disappear, or at least in the near future. But the really interesting parts are what jobs will emerge over the next coming years.
Look at that. What are those jobs? What are they? What do you think the first one is? It's a job for a human, for someone. So you can't just say robots. Fix the robot. Oh, so you tell us.
It's actually productivity counselors. It will be individuals specifically tasked within an organization to ensure that you're getting the right amount of productivity from all of your employees. Whether that's by moving people around. It's currently a function of HR, but it's going to be a dedicated role in the future world of work. What do you think the next one is?
Aamir, you have to go in a rush through it because of time.
A personal digital curator. All of us have so many apps on our phone, we're one day going to need somebody that's actually going to manage all of that. We've seen really interesting other jobs come out, such as the next one, which is a corporate disorganizer. An individual that's paid to come into your businesses and disrupt, break hierarchies, change people from different positions to make sure that we engage in creativity. Puleng, in my opinion, is a curiosity tutor.
Yeah.
She comes in and she asks really difficult questions that sparks curiosity, unleashes potential, unlocks value. And we've got other jobs such as currency curator or digital detox therapists. One that I found that was
detox therapist.
Yeah.
How many of us need that?
By show of hands.
Digital detox therapist. How many of you are on your phones right now? You probably need a digital detox therapist.
The one that I found really interesting that's not on this list is a digital death manager. That's an individual that will be tasked specifically to go onto all of your social media accounts when you die and get rid of all of the things that you don't want your spouse or family to see. Imagine that. Deleting those WhatsApp messages. But that's a reality. I mean, those are the future jobs that we need to be mindful of as HR practitioners.
Yeah.
It's the world we operate in.
And we're laughing at them now, but 10 years back, when I got introduced to the world of creativity and innovation, and I started doing my research, people told me, organizations will have a chief imagination officer. And I'm like, no, it will probably happen in the States or something. If you go into my LinkedIn, I have a couple of friends who are Chief Imagination Officer. Another one is an Imagineer in the organization. Imagineer. Seriously. And 10 years back, there wasn't such a job called a futurist, isn't it? Not that we remember. My husband is a futurist, qualified, master's in future studies at Stellenbosch. A futurist will help you with foresight of where your industry is going so that you align your strategies to where the world is going. Didn't happen a couple of years back. Shocking, isn't it? Now we want you to think, and this is just the question, we're going to put it out there. Which of your HR jobs will still exist in the next 5 or 10 years? And which ones won't exist? And which ones do you need to reinvent, reimagine, and come up with new ones? Yeah? That's a question, that's for conversation. Now we have yet another question. What might the role of robots be in this revolution? And we have a video that we don't think because of time we'll play it, but we would like you to go online on YouTube. And how did we get this one? Was it?
It's robots doing human jobs.
Yeah? So we're going to play back an interesting video of a robot that's a domestic worker. We can play it. Okay,
Could you use
play
a little
it.
extra
Give us
help
extra
cleaning
5
around your
minutes.
house? Well, one Japanese university has an invention that may be right up your alley. Let's check out what it is.
Behind these brick walls of Japan's top university, scientists are studying the future of household chores and their solution to mopping, laundry, and cleaning up the kitchen. Well, it lies in the hands of a robot known as AR, or Assistant Robot. AR has a host of high-tech functions which are possible because the robot can see three-dimensional objects.
This is the first launch of a robot that will be able to help with household chores in an era of an aging population. We can show people we can do it.
This mechanical maid is capable of more than just serving breakfast in bed, and at 130 kilograms, it's no lightweight when it comes to polishing floors. But don't get excited just yet. The research center says it'll be another decade or two before the 1.5-meter robot can be mass-produced.
Interesting, isn't it? I don't even think it's going to take another decade, Aamir. What do you think?
It's already being in reproduction in terms of how can we mass roll out now. And we have many more examples of robots that are actually published, even in South Africa. I believe you were with a robot a couple of days ago.
Yes, absolutely. In March, when Standard Bank launched its first robot, Pepper, I was running a workshop for them, so I had this clip. It's just that because of time, I'm not going to play it. But they were still programming it, and then you'd say, hello, what's your name? Puleng. What is Standard Bank? And then we went, algorithm gone wrong because it was still being programmed. What is Standard Bank? And then the programmer's like, say, what is the mission of Standard Bank? What is the mission of Standard Bank? Standard Bank is a blah, 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 blah. So intelligent and smart all of a sudden. Yeah? But it's now fully programmed and it's now working. Pepper is working as we speak. And a couple of months back, this was just a phenomenon. Last year, it wasn't even in existence. And now Pepper can help you. It's a real bot. Interesting, isn't it? Now, a quick tutorial on algorithms. Mr. MC, I hope you're watching. Yeah? But you don't make this mistake often with my surname. Yeah? So I'm a programmer. I can give you a very quick tutorial on algorithms. If KH in Sesotho is pronounced as ha, L-I as D. Yeah, but so if you're a Motswana, you can replace the KH with KGWA. You see that? Else, if you're Afrikaans, that's what you do. If you're Sotho, if you're Xhosa, or else, everybody else, you just have to follow what I say. Yeah? So this is kind of like a programmable. This is a program I would literally give to a robot to teach people how to pronounce my surname, and it's just enough. And I designed it in 2 minutes. Now think about your own job. think about your own jobs. Which parts of your job can you program, convert into an algorithm very quickly, yeah, and teach a robot to do all of that job? And once you have taught a robot how to do, let's say, 20%, 30% of your job, and it's doing it much faster and efficiently, effectively than you, that gives you 30% freedom to do something else. What is that? What opportunities does that create for you? Think about it. Aamir?
So, if you think about it, and going back to some of the previous discussions, if we look at how engaged our workforce is, or how much of us are welcome at work, if we get a robot to automate and do everything that we don't want to do, then that allows us the opportunity to find our true value. The way that we see enabling digi-human optimization is by embracing your humanity, by allowing yourself the opportunity to let the robot do all the work that we don't want to, but we tap into creativity. Dr. Puleng, what would you do if a robot could do some of your job?
I would be super excited. In fact, I don't want to talk about myself personally, but I want to talk about a program that we are currently doing with one of the banks. First time in our history to do a program where they said, I should coach delegates in this program to do what they call passion projects using design thinking methodology. So all this time I've been coaching groups of people from different corporates to do innovative, disruptive products about the corporate products that are going to prosper this corporate. This time, this particular banker says, we'll bring our leadership from all over the continent. You coach them on passion projects. What are these passion projects? Projects from your heart that are personal, that are about your own creativity, your own curiosity, your own passion, things that you want to engage in. Create businesses out of those things. Very powerful, and we have run over 10 cohorts with about 30 people for this particular bank. What's interesting is when you begin to engage with corporates, people who's like, a person who's like a head of risk or something in a bank, saying, I'm actually passionate about farming. It's always been a part of me. And now they're building a whole business model using digitization, using online platforms to escalate their business and create for themselves a side hustle. So while they're having a full-time job, they're also creating a side hustle around farming using digital platforms. These are the opportunities that we're talking about. And what's interesting is these are facilitated by the fourth industrial revolution. Your employees are already disengaged, after all. Only 13% of your employees are engaged. 11% of them are completely disengaged and uninterested. But what they do have in their hands every single day, every single moment, is this gadget that you underestimate. This gadget gives me capacity to run a business full-time, full force from my desk. So you think you are in, your employees sitting there doing interesting stuff. Yes, they're doing interesting stuff that are aligned with their own passion, and they're running businesses while they're just sitting in the office. So at least if we were more intentional about it, there is yet another company in the mining industry that contacted a consulting company and said, we want to deploy robots and artificial intelligence and machine learning in part of the organization, but we don't want to retrench anybody. And then this consulting company, my husband was a part of that project, that's why I know about it, said, well, let's analyze each and every one of the jobs. And if we're going to take away 40% of your work, what are other higher value contributions that you can make to this organization? And employees suddenly have to think, what else can I do? Am I interested in doing film? Okay, how can my film interest and passion benefit this organization? Am I interested in taking pictures? Whatever it is. So it's become a very, very interesting phenomenon.
It's amazing. I mean, the opportunity, as Puleng says, is that if we're able to take away all of the mundane activities that we consume our lives with, then it gives us the opportunity to think, to be creative, to be imaginative. And that allows us to change the way that we see the world.
Yeah. So the invitation, and as we close, is our message is on the screen. The fourth industrial revolution gives us the opportunity to
Reimagine, reinvent,
rethink, probably recalibrate, and be thoughtful about our existence as humans. How are you participating in this revolution? This is the best time, we believe, for us to be human.
As you would have seen in the previous slides with the newspaper articles, there's no true definition of what the Industrial Revolution means for us, the fourth Industrial Revolution. It's still in the process of being identified. So it gives us now the opportunity as HR practitioners to be part of designing that future. Let's not wait for somebody to enforce it on us. Let's go out there and rethink, reinvent. And as Puleng says, it's the best time because we now get the opportunity to go out there and make it happen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, that's the right type of clap. Thank you so much. Very, very interesting. Very, very